They screaming peace when there ain't no peace. Israel, pop a sign in the streets. Look at me, the center of attention. Black Messiah, coming with a vengeance.
See around these times. Be quiet, brother. Be quiet. There's only one person can talk at a time. Let's all be men. Hold on. What we're reading in the Bible is pre-civilization, where we settled in West Africa. We settled in West Africa around 70 AD when we fled Jerusalem. That's the Sierra Leone. That's the Nigeria. That's all of those countries. Ghana. When the Israelites fled into Africa, that's what. Just hold on, brother. Listen to what I'm saying. They landed on the west coast of Africa. That's where we settled at. From there, the transatlantic slave trade started, and all they had to do was get us from West Africa to the Americas. What he's reading is it predates the transatlantic slave trade. He's showing you how the so-called Native Americans, remember, 1492, Christopher Columbus sails the ocean blue. He comes to America, and there are people in America already. He's reading you that history of how those people, so-called Native Americans, got through the Euphrates, around the southern tip of Africa, and populated the Americas. Before they grabbed us from Ghana, before they grabbed us from Nigeria, during the time of the transatlantic slave trade. What he's doing is he's going back hundreds of years before the transatlantic slave trade, when we voluntarily came to the Americas to populate it. Now, come on. Hold on, read this. Watch this. Come on.
2nd Ezra, chapter 13, verse 43.
I want them last couple verses.
Verse 45. Through the country.
Through that country, because they had to go through the Euphrates and down through the southern tip of Africa. Come on.
There was a great way to go.
That's a long trip. How long did it take them?
Namely, of a year and a half.
And as they're making this trip, they stopping for provisions. They got to have food, because you can't be on water for a year and a half. From the Euphrates all the way through. Yes, sir. Come on.
And the same region.
That same region where these people would travel to is called what?
It's called Arsaret.
Now, here's the question. What is Arsaret? Here's the question. What is Arsaret? Read this.
Arsaret.
Listen to what we're saying, because the Bible matches actual history. Come on.
The name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man.
Now, here's the thing. They saying that this land that they went is far away from the habitation of man. You can ask anybody, white, black, Chinese, they all tell you that civilization started in Africa. So they would have had to go far away from Africa. But the Europeans were here in Europe. The Europeans were in Russia. Right? The Arabs was all in Arabia that we know of today. So what way would they go if this is populated? It's far away from the habitations of man. Go ahead.
In which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell.
That went through the Euphrates. It took them a year and a half. It would be far away from the habitations of man. Go ahead.
Observing the laws of Moses. Until the time of the restoration.
Read.
According to 4th Esdras.
That's what we just read, 2nd Ezra. That's what we just finished reading, literally, the verses. Keep going.
Columbus identified America with this land.
Columbus identified America with this Arsaret that's written in the Bible.
Bring it out.
So you are right. Our people were in America before the transatlantic slave trade. And if you were, then you was one of these tribes.
Bring it out.
From Ephraim on down. That's all we saying. We saying, yes, we were here, and it was prophesied that we would be here already. But then these guys came over through the transatlantic slave trade when they packed us on ships. So now our brothers is already in America. We're on the west coast of Africa, and they come and get us and stack us on ships and bring us over here with them. That's why the Native American and the so-called African American look the exact same. That's why a lot of the so-called African Americans are really Native Americans. They just been labeled as African Americans. Why? Because if my brother come here first and I come later, and you look at both of us side by side, we still look the same. But we still different tribes. Those are the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, that populated these areas. These people that were here first was Ephraim, Manasseh, Simeon. All of us got the same mama. All of us got the same daddy.
Bring it out. Where were we before the Bible?
There was no before the Bible. No, the Bible calculates in the beginning, meaning at the beginning of time. Before anything happened, meaning before the stars and the moon and the sun was there, the Bible chronicles this information.
So Adam and Eve, you think it's a true story?
Yes, no. I don't think Adam and Eve is a true story. I know Adam and Eve is a true story.
That's right.
For a 100% fact. You know why? Because when I look out in the earth today, I still see the story of Adam and Eve happening before our eyes.
Right.
A man that's in rulership trying to rule everything, and his woman wanting the same amount of power as what he had, and get them kicked out of what's called success by today's standards.
Right.
Trust me, the Bible just repeats itself. You just see it in smaller forms in individual households today.
Who made that Bible?
God.
What's the King James Version?
What's King James mean? Give me. Okay, cool. I'm sorry. We gotta let's get a history lesson in. I want you to tell me what King James Version. No. I want you to tell me, what does King James Version mean? That's a good question. I'm not knocking you. That's his version of the Bible. You sure? According to what? I'm going to test your knowledge, because I know exactly how this Bible was put together, and I'm going to show you. But since you asked, I gotta ask you first.
Do it tell you if it's fiction or non-fiction?
No, it don't say. It don't say. It don't say nothing about being fiction or non-fiction. It said the Bible, at the beginning of the Bible, it says it's a fiction book. See, you're gonna have to pull out a Bible and show me that. Oh, okay, it's not in this one, but this is the King James Version.
You can look it up.
All right, so now let's clarify.
If the Bible is the truth,
the
Bible is the truth.
Absolutely, 100%.
So why when you look it up, it says fiction?
Because it's called atheists. Because the men of this world run the planet. You can look up anything today. You can look at Caitlyn Jenner right now, who started off as a whole man, and they want the whole world to call him a woman. You get what I'm saying? That's what we're getting into. Perfect question. Who is King James? Let's read. No, King James was a black man that ruled Scotland and England.
That's right.
Yes, sir. And we got books outside the Bible to prove our facts. Pay attention, young man, because you in school right now. Watch this. Let's read.
The Scientific Compact Bible Dictionary.
Now, what are we in? We are outside the Bible, and now we're just reading a dictionary. What this dictionary is going to do is it's going to tell us how the King James Version Bible came to be. Actual history, not nothing we YouTubed, not nothing that somebody told us when we was having drinks at a bar. We actually going to sources and reading it ourselves. You know why? That way we can be bold when we come out here and read out the Bible. Why would we read out a book and don't know how the book came to be? With so many of our people saying King James is a white man, he was a homosexual, he wrote the Bible. In order for us to be this bold and send this many people out, obviously we did some type of research. Now let us read our research to you. Come on.
Page 86, King James Version.
Okay.
When Elizabeth died,
this is King James. This is King James, a black man. A black man. This is real life. This is real life. Not no conjecture. We know what we're talking about. Come on.
When Elizabeth died in 1603.
1603, Elizabeth died. Who was Elizabeth? His mother. Look at my book bag. I believe I have Nature Knows No Color lines inside it. She is on the cover of the book. Look for my book bag. Come on. I'm going to show you what his mama looked like.
Bring it out.
This is him. I got a book with his mama. Come on.
The crown passed to James I.
James I,
who had been king of Scotland for 37 years.
You remember I said he was the king of Scotland and then became the king of England. For 37 years, he was the king of Scotland. A black man. Actual images of him. Come on.
As James VI.
He was James VI in Scotland because there was 5 King Jameses before him. You know, you have a child, your name James, you name your son James, so he the second. That's why he's the 6th King James of Scotland. Real history, no fluff. Come on.
Several months after he ascended to the throne of England.
Several months after his mother dies and he's the king, go ahead.
He authorized.
Listen to what it says. He authorized. What does it mean to authorize something? Let me ask you this. You saying okay. To authorize does not mean I wrote it. Watch this. You ever heard of Obamacare? You heard of Obamacare? Did Barack Obama sit down and write out the bill for Obamacare? No, he didn't.
No.
Why is his name on it? Because he was the president when it came out.
Right.
He gave the authority for Obamacare.
Right.
He authorized them to come up with Obamacare. Now, what does it say King James did?
He authorized
What?
a new translation of the Bible.
So listen to what he's saying. The other translations were not in English. And the ones that were in English were very, very poorly translated because the translators had an agenda of their own. Now, in order to prove this, you got to read history. I'm not going into all these books. Y'all got to prove me a liar. Do your research. Because they had like the Bishop's Bible and things like that that they would use. But it was one man that translated that Bible from the Hebrew and Latin and Greek into English, and everything that he said is what everybody ran with. Let's see what King James did, though. No. History lesson. Let's go.
He authorized a new translation of the Bible to replace the Bishop's Bible.
The Bishop's Bible is the one out. Come on, now. I told y'all we were scholars. Come on.
47 years.
Come on.
47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars of the day.
Listen to what he did. He took 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars of the day. You know why he picked Hebrew and Greek scholars? Because the actual scrolls, the actual books, when the prophets wrote them, they wrote them in Hebrew and they wrote them in Greek. So in order for him to translate them to English, he needed 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars. That ain't where we ending at. Come on.
We're divided into 6 groups.
He said he took the 47, he divided them into 6 separate groups. Woo! Boy, that's a bad man right here. People run around the earth talking about King James wrote the Bible. You're going to learn today. Come on.
3 for the Old Testament.
He took 3 groups out of that 6, and he said, y'all 3 individually. So I'm going to give you all the Old Testament books. I'm going to give him all the Old Testament books, and I'm going to give him. Y'all going to 3 separate places. Y'all going to translate the Bible individually. 3 groups for the Old Testament. Don't want to hear it. I'm teaching. Read.
2 for the New.
2 of them for the New Testament. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Galatians. Go ahead.
And 1 for the Apocrypha.
The Apocrypha is the 14 books that have been taken out of the Bible that you can buy in Family Dollar right now. There's 14 books missing from the Bible that all of these Christians read every day. We have those 14 books. Come on. That's the Apocrypha right there. And 1 for the Apocrypha. Go ahead.
2 of the groups met at Oxford.
You know what Oxford is? One of the most prestigious college universities in the entire planet. 2 of the groups met in Oxford. Go ahead.
2 at Cambridge.
2 of the groups met at Cambridge. Again, a very prestigious, high scholarly place to do studies. Go ahead.
And 2 at Westminster.
And 2 at Westminster. That's his 6 groups. Mind you, none of that has King James sitting there saying, take this out, put this in, do this, do that. There is a huge lie that King James had anything to do with translating or writing the Bible.
That's right.
So far, only thing we read that he did was authorize the translation. Go ahead.
When a group had completed its task.
So you send a group and they say, "Hey, we done. Our Old Testament books, they done." Go ahead.
Its work was submitted to 12 men.
Now listen. Remember, we got 6 groups. When one group say I'm done, they got to take what they did and they got to take it to 12 men that's going to oversee their work. What's that called? That's like a student doing research. You got to take it to your professor. Make sure your answer's correct. Go ahead.
2 from each panel.
2 from each panel made up to 12. Remember, it was 6 groups. 6 times 2 is 12. Go ahead.
Final differences of opinion.
Final differences of opinion, meaning he put thou shalt not kill. I want to put thou shalt not murder. That's a difference of opinion. Any differences of opinion, what did they do?
Were settled at a general meeting of each company.
So all the people had to get together to say whether or not the Bible would say kill or murder. Oh yeah, this is much, much more than what the Negro mind can fathom in 2020. Talking about King James wrote the Bible. Come on.
In cases of special difficulty.
In cases of special difficulty, maybe the first gathering wasn't enough. What happened?
Learned men outside the board of revisers were consulted. Marginal notes were used only to explain Hebrew.
When you open up a Bible, give me your Bible.
Yes, sir.
Marginal notes were used only to explain Hebrew. You see the stuff in the middle? It helps you to understand what the verses on the pages mean. This ain't, hey, come on, man. Come on, man. Read it.
Marginal notes were used only to explain Hebrew and Greek words to draw attention, to parallel passages.
Meaning, hey, this passage right here goes with this passage over here. Go ahead.
Italics were used for words not found in the original, but necessary to complete the sense.
So in other words, you can't say microwave in Hebrew because no microwaves existed when we spoke Hebrew.
That's right.
Same thing when they're translating to English. There are English words that did not exist in Hebrew. So what they did was they used italics to make sure that you understood what it was trying to say. What they're saying is we inserted this word that's not in the original text, but we want to make sure that you know that we inserted it just so you can get understanding.
Right.
Now this isn't something that to be taken lightly. 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars. 6 groups. A group of 12 that made sure it was right. Any disputes they had to go before a panel to answer. Now the Negro walking the earth today say, King James wrote that Bible. Well, you look at that Bible, that white man wrote that Bible. No, history don't say none of that.
Yeah.
Let God be true, but every man a liar. Read.
The revisers who received no financial remuneration for their work.
Listen to what it says. They were not paid. What does that mean? Listen to what I'm saying. When somebody volunteers time and information and you don't have to pay them, what does that mean about them?
Bring it up.
Say it again. No, not necessarily slavery. You got to think about it.
It's not slavery.
What does that mean? That means they were dedicated towards the mission.
That's right.
That means there was a level of dedication, right? When you want to play sports, right? Let's say you play ball, right? What you do, play basketball?
Yeah.
What you do in the summertime when you ain't hooping?
Working.
You working out. You get what I'm saying? Why? You getting ready for that next season. Yeah, because if you know you sit on the sideline for too long, them guys that was on the bench, they going to be starting and you going to be on the bench.
You know?
So you dedicated towards your craft to where people ain't even got to pay you to get up and hit the gym. That's what it's showing right here with these 47 scholars. They was dedicated.
It also meant they couldn't be manipulated.
Yeah, that means they couldn't be manipulated by money as well, with bribes.
Right.
Saying, change this word, put this nation there instead of this nation there. No. I ain't done teaching yet. I'm going to let you speak or not. Read.
Completed their task in 2 years.
They did what?
Completed their task in 2 years.
It took them 2 years to complete the King James Version Bible.
Bring it on.
2 years. I want the heart of the king is in the hands of God. I need that scripture.
I got it.
Go ahead.
Proverbs 21:1.
Finish reading what you got, and then give me Proverbs 21:1.
And 9 more months were devoted to a revision of their work.
What they said, after 9 months, they noticed a couple things wasn't right. So it's 2 years and 9 months that 47 people did this work. Go ahead. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Now give me the Bible so that the Bible can show you why these things happen. Watch this. Then I want Psalm 68.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
The Bible says the kings of these earth, the kings of these countries, his heart or his mind is in the hands of the Lord. Go ahead.
As the rivers of water.
As the rivers of water, go ahead.
He turneth whithersoever he will.
He said, I'm going to turn the king's heart wherever I will. Meaning the blacks today would need a Bible in English in order to be able to learn that they were the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
That's right.
Therefore, God moved King James' heart to be able to put that board of scholars together to translate this Bible. Watch this. Read this.
The book of Psalms, chapter 68, verse 11.
Read.
The Lord gave the word.
Who gave the word?
The Lord gave the word.
God gave the words that's in the Bible, but what?
Great was the company of those that published it.
Great was the company of those 47 scholars that published it and put it in writing inside a book.
That's right.
That's what the Bible is saying. Give me Isaiah chapter 28. I want no language. What happens to the slave if he speaks Hebrew? And the Bible is only in Hebrew. And that's his whole culture, his heritage. Everything is inside that book. And then there's no way for that man who now was a slave and he speaks English to ever reconnect with a language that he don't know. That Bible has to be written in that language where that kid is a slave at. And the Bible tells us that. Watch this. Go ahead.
The book of Psalms, chapter 19, verse 3.
Come on.
There is no speech.
There is no speech.
Nor language.
Nor what?
nor language.
English, read.
Where their voice is not heard.
Or the prophet's message wouldn't be heard by the people.
That's right.
Now I can say thou shalt not steal and you understand what I mean. I can say thou shalt not commit adultery, you understand what I mean. I can say thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. And you know what that means. Why? Because if I was up here saying asabe da ba ma da ba da, yeah, you wouldn't understand nothing that I'm saying.
You know?
I have to be able to speak a language, and the Bible must be written in a language that we can understand. So did King James write the Bible, people? Hell no, he didn't write the Bible. He authorized scholars to translate it from Greek, Hebrew, and Latin over into English.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.